episode. Talking about what's going on in Michael's life. And then what's also going on in his friends' lives. Are you ready to dive into a deep and real conversation? I saw a quote today that said, move on from social media. They're the ruining of relationships. Funny thing is that they posted it on social media. And I thought that was hilarious. Because how are you going to say social media ruins relationship? Then you're going to post on social media that it ruins relationship for the only sake of reasoning that you want your relationship ruined. Or, for example, maybe it actually ruined your relationship and you have no way of outlet, so you want attention even more. All this is about attention. But positive outlook is when the lights are bright and they're shining on you, who is you to, you know what I mean? Not grab on hold of that attention and roll with it. That's what the like button's for. That's what the comment box is for. All right, Andy, ask me a question and I'll give you an answer.
What is today's date?
Today's date is 13th, but it's not Friday the 13th.
It's
A month from today. We got a birthday in the house. But the birthday is, and how old are you turning?
20.
20?
Yeah.
I have to call shenanigans. I'm going to call shenanigans on that. You can lie about your age all you want, but that's how you know you're getting old. No, but see, I'm going to say this. It's got to be a blessing to turn when you know, having a birthday, to be able to look in the mirror and say, I moved on from the year past. And the years past, and even those are a reflection and a history of time. Remember, Andy, I cleaned out my closet. I went through lifestyles and tribulations of my life that I hadn't seen or I'd forgotten about in years. And the other day, now mind you, my birthday's coming up too. It's the summer baby season, all right? Summer baby season. And do you know what I'm going to do for my birthday? I'm going to move. Yes, that's right. I said it here on the first episode. I'm going to move. And that's the birthday present to myself.
So just let me know where exactly are you moving to, and when you get there, what are you going to do in terms of sports and being Mr. Gemini? What are you going to do? You going to get out there?
Getting out there. Well, in terms of sports, I have to say I'm a bit sad. So there's no football there. There's no basketball there. All my local teams that I like will be in the north. But over there, I feel like I'm going to be chasing sunshine and skirts. That's just what it is. Chasing sunshine and skirts. That's just what it is. You know, I'm a single man in a new city, in a new town, with nothing to lose and everything to gain.
I think that's very positive outlook. But you got to tell me, when you get down to the beach, what are you expecting to see? I want to, some paradise, fun in the sun. Kids are playing, people are laughing, there's noise. Cars, tell me about that.
You know what? I wouldn't know about the bars until we get down there. Now, I will be posting on some videos, maybe being a lot more sociable on my social network. I feel like I've been neglecting Snapchat and Instagram because of these aspects. But this move shall open up a brand new opportunity to post brand new pics and maybe a story or two. Now, as we talk about sports, San Diego has no football team, but my football team's moving to Las Vegas anyway. So we don't want to get into too many aspects about that because I feel like that's still a touchy subject and I am still in mourning. But it's still in mourning, but it's okay because I'm rocking with the silver all the way. And I really don't understand why people will tell me, hey, Highsmith, your team's moving. You should just abandon them. Abandon them. Abandon them. Abandon them. Why? Why should I abandon my team that I grew up about 26 years of my life just because they moved to a new city? I mean, the last time I checked, when I first started liking them, they were already in LA. Then they moved back to the Oakland. I was just like, well, that's just closer to me. So.
And just then, I just brought in a picture. And can you tell me who this picture is? Signed, autographed by who?
I don't want to say his name because it's irrelevant to our cause. He was irrelevant. I'm sorry, Andy, but I just don't like Derek McFadden. I wasn't a fan. I felt like we go through running backs, and maybe it wasn't his fault. It wasn't his fault. He's injury prone. But honestly, I thought we should have got rid of him a long time ago. But I failed you, Raiders. I couldn't become your GM. Now I can just talk about things. By the way, though, let's talk about this move, Andy. So, what do you feel like is going to be the biggest change and adjustment to staying and adjusting to the Southern California lifestyle? Also being a single bachelor.
I think Los Angeles has a lot to offer for everybody, a lot of opportunities. Opportunities in social media and things to help with the city, joining Chamber of Commerce's, things like that, getting involved with business. There's still a lot of things I have to learn about. As I get down to a place, I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to have a hard time adjusting, but I have to get over that. I have to make something of myself so I can enjoy the sunshine. It's sunny out here. What would you say the weather is today?
The weather is very windy, but I think it's going to rain in like 2 days.
I think I like a cool 70. The sun out, I can go up to Runyon Canyon, take a run. Go down Sunset Boulevard. Oh, those just bring you back. You gotta tell me some of them streets down there, because I only know a few streets in the SD. I think it's Sepulveda. Can you tell me some more about that?
Oh, SD streets. I have to say, I only know districts at the moment. I'm more into, now I hear the places that I want to be exploring when I go down there. I want to check out. Now, I have stayed in Gaslamp for over 4 to 6 months, and I love it down there. Can't go wrong. Restaurants galore. It reminds me of, from up here, Polk Street and SF and the Marina all combined into one grand area. I mean, you got your restaurants, you got your bars, you got your dive bars, you got your, you know what I mean? And you can go from restaurants. We're going from the top of the top, fancy, to just your average, get yourself a meal, get in and out, And all sets of different foods. We're going from Italian, we're going from seafood, we're going from Brazilian steakhouses, we're going to regular steakhouses, we're going to good old American diner, we're going to, sushi. And one of my favorites also, Mexican food. They're not really big on the soul food, so I don't really know how the brothers is gonna get a real home cooked meal, if you know what I'm saying. Because I have not found a place to look down there. But I do know that there are some barbecue, grand top-notch barbecue spots, and that is going to be a spot. Now, the streets that I know about in downtown Gaston. Now, see, I like between 4th and all the way till about 10th. So you got 7th Street, 9th Street, all these bars and areas that you can, walk around and talk. And the community, they really get outside when it comes to that nightlife. People always remind me of like parking lot pimping days when you used to go outside with your friends after you got out from a night out. You used to just jam pack with music, walk around. Nobody really ends up going home after they leave. It's more of a like, oh, I finally, the lights turn on and I finally see who I've been chatting with this whole time, and I'm under the influence. Let's go out and get a slice of pizza and let's talk. Let's see where this conversation leads, And that's the greatest thing. That's the coolest thing. People don't just go home when the bar ends at 2. And that's what you got to know about the SoCal life. Don't you agree?
I definitely agree. I also agree that SoCal life has definitely evolved, with the Hollywood trends, keeping up on, basic interests that the public really, really fantasizes about. I definitely like it too. I would like to know that I could walk outside, I can meet, my favorite celebrity, probably even, see Tyler Perry. Come around and say, hey, Tyler Perry, good to you. What about them times, man? Oh, man. We're to go see Barbershop and movies like that. What kind of movies are you gonna try to get on Netflix, especially when you get down there? What are you feeling these days?
When it comes to Netflix, I've gone through pretty much a lot of the shows down, on Netflix. Now, of course, I'm gonna love my House of Cards, my Narcos. Gotta give it up to El Patron. And what I'm gonna really get back down to is what I'm talking about recently right now is Iron Fist. Now, for those of you who have been following the Marvel Studios, you understand that Netflix has taken advantage of actually making moves and expanding that Marvel universe, starting off with Daredevil. Who'd have thought, right? You came in, you found out he was blind. We knew the story. We saw the movie with, Ben Affleck and Jennifer Garner. But you'd have thought that series would actually intrigue you to actually stick in that side of the universe for Marvel. So they expanded more. Then you end up catching on the other side, Jessica Jones, which I have to say, I was completely not even focused on Jessica Jones at all. JJ was just, I saw it and I wrote it off. Till one day, like we all do when we're binging on Netflix, you see it, you see the title enough times, and you just look at it and you go, all right, I'll give it a shot. I'll watch 2 episodes. And and then after 2 episodes, who to say that you can't put it down? So you don't put it down. And that series changed a lot as you go to the other side. And now you have Luke Cage. Powerful movement of shows for a couple brothers in the acting career who were making moves on other shows and finally got their own spin-off. And Netflix did a really good job on that. Now, it wasn't my favorite, but they did a very good job. And it's going to, the continuation, I'm really excited for these next 2 second seasons between Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and the 3rd season of Daredevil. Now, continue with that because the start of the new one that we have going on right now is called Iron Fist. And Iron Fist, wow. That's just like a twist between Daredevil and Jessica Jones. But at the end of it, I have not finished it. I'm continuing, and I really approve of this new expansion of the Marvel Universe through the Netflix studios.
Gotcha. So yeah, Netflix making it easier to just get the shows you want right there on TV. That's what I'm saying, man. But I've been dibble dabbling with what are the things that are even on TV these days. I don't even find myself on TV that much. I usually just look at just some of the websites with movies coming out, and I say to myself, man, all this time to find something, but I could just go to YouTube or something and pay a good amount and get all my channels. I definitely like that I could set up my own station and view channels that I really, really enjoy.
You're talking about the new way of how to get your channels, to basically set up your own TV program. It's your channel. Now, not a lot of us people have these abilities. I'm not going to out different skill sets of how to get the streaming on, but I have to do one thing to say. The new idea of having a Roku or a Chromecast or a device that basically screen mirrors your show from one device to your TV makes it a lot more apparent that you don't really even have to watch TV. As long as but see, here's the thing. Cable companies, I believe, are getting smart now. They're saying, well, now if we lock your service and lock these channels in, and we don't appeal to them to the casting, then you wouldn't have to. Then you have to go through us, and you can't download it illegally. You can't look at it online on your phone, then cast it to your TV and say that you're caught up. And that's the issue that we're having with is that as our generation gets older, we're not going to be wanting to sit down and watch cable TV. If there's not a sports game on or a national debate or a political speech, we're not going to want to turn it on. We get our news 24/7 every day. I mean, the president's on Twitter, okay? Twitter is more relevant now for all of us than actually going on and saying, hey, can I pick up a newspaper back when our parents were older, It's all line. We don't so when you're talking about you don't watch TV, a lot of us are moving past that because we have so much, we're getting unlimited data, we have Wi-Fi now. So our devices are able, and I think that's the problem. I think that's what's going to happen. Either A, they're going to start cutting the licensing, or they're going to do a sponsorship. So you have to go on, like for instance, Netflix app. You go on my Netflix app. You click on it on the little tab that says it has the Chromecast ability to be able to post it on my TV or / monitor. You could do the same thing if you had it plugged it into your computer. You had a Chromecast plugged into your computer. You went on your phone. You cast it onto your phone. These screen mirroring abilities is like changing the game right now. Now the problem is this: what happens when you don't have good Wi-Fi? So your answer to your question, Andy, is I believe that casting and streaming is the new sort of verge of communicating to people in our generation because we just don't have the time. We don't have the time to come home and sit down for an hour at 9 and watch our show. We rather watch it when we get back from the gym at 11. So I have to ask this question for you, Andy. What are you going to do, and how are you going to keep up with the times since you don't watch TV, but you need to get your, fix?
Probably just stick to notifications on Instagram. Anything that kind of comes in my email now. I don't know, you find yourself, even if you subscribe to a channel through your email, you either get spammed with, good content, or You're getting spammed for things you didn't even sign up for. I mean, I'm not one to, throw my cards in the whole bunch, but man, I get scared when I see a bunch of emails saying, oh, you won a trip to Cancun, or you won a trip to God knows where. It scares me, man. But hey, email is still an okay source, but there is the news topic on like the iPhone, and the iPhone, they got that down. They got news, health, and sports topics just in front of me. It's freaky.
Speaking of Cancun, we got to talk about our trip to Cancun, because I don't know a lot of people know this, but I think it's going to be pretty big. I think the fact that the goal that we set to be able to get out from under our situation, from where we are, and move forward in life in a new town, in a new city, and to finally be able to, from all the hustle and bustle and stresses and movements, be able to finally just take maybe 4 to 5 days off and just put our feet up and enjoy all inclusive. Tell me how excited you are to get to this.
I need to take like surfing lessons. I need to try something. I think you had mentioned sometime you wanted surf. I need to find my way into the water, dive in, rub salt all over my face. I just need to really just lay back in a lounge chair. Once I take the time to do that, man, I'd be able to come back to, society as a whole and say, oh, okay, back in Hollywood after a long break. But yeah, I need to get down to this, the crystal, the coast, the ambience of the people, and just the sound of the waves. Tell me about the sound of those waves.
Ocean's gonna feel nice. Ocean's gonna be nice. Now, surfing lessons, Andy, I plan to get myself in the water, I have a problem with keeping my contacts afloat, but, once I get those done, I plan to try to, that's one of the hobbies I want to pick up now that I'm going to be more closer to the ocean. That sea salt air, man, Remember I told you that story of how I went cliff diving, jumped into the Pacific Ocean? Most exhilarating aspect in a while. Now, they say when, you do that, it's just like, it's like a waking up appearance. Like, you just feel like, okay, every morning I've been blessed. That, kind of like from dusk to what happens next. And I just think that it's going to feel really, really nice to just finally be able to accept change. We've been sitting, at least a lot of my, peers, we sat here and we talked about change, how we're going to move forward in our lives. And, that's just a bigger aspect, a bigger dream that seems more relevant now that as we're getting older and taking control of our lives, because in the end, I don't think these things are going to change. I don't think that being around any, certain person or certain aspect, that because you move to a new city, that you should change, your aspect of friends. People should still be able to make way. And in the end, if you really think about it, you want to talk about it. I mean, no, let's just throw it out there. Like, once I get my feet settled, hit me up. Yo, I'm coming through. I just want to have, as long as we're all planning. As we plan it, we make room. Yo. Planes, travel, we got new cars. Why couldn't you, what's 400 miles, right? And some sunshine. Like I said, there's nothing wrong. And I think you should get in the water, Andy. I think you should do some surfing lessons. And hopefully when you come through, I'll actually be surfing. Be like, yo.
and shine. Come on, sparkle. 'Cause it's now
Yo,
your time.
now who would have thought some brothers out here trying to get on these surfboards and be really moving,
I like that. And on that note, we're going to take a refresher. We're going to come right back to the podcast. It's more talk with both of us here, Mike, Andy. Let's sign up.